you're trying to get $100,000 or more in business funding through credit stacking in 2026, this is the only video you need to watch, because I'm going to show you the updated strategy that actually works right now, not the outdated TikTok hacks from 2020, not the apply for 10 cards at midnight BS, but the real system I use to help business owners secure 6 figures in 0% interest funding. For context, through my company, Waiters Capital, we deployed over $40 million to small and medium-sized businesses, and I personally taught hundreds of people how to become business loan brokers who help their clients stack 100K to 150K in funding. So in this video, I'm breaking down the complete 2026 credit stacking blueprint, what banks to go to in that order, what they're actually looking for, the deposit strategies that unlock maximum approvals, and most importantly, the application rules that changed since everyone started abusing this strategy. Let's get into it. Before we talk about banks or sequences, we need to get clear on what credit stacking actually is. Credit stacking is not random applications, it's not copying a lender's list, and it's definitely not hoping approvals magically line up. Real credit stacking is strategic. It's built around 5 things banks care about in 2026, and that is how banks are behaving right now, how you structure your credit profile, having one-to-one comparables banks can use to make decisions, application timing and banking rules, and your relationship with that bank. That's the lens that everything flows through. Your credit score is just a snapshot. Your credit profile is the full picture. Banks don't fund numbers, they fund profiles they're comfortable with. Once you understand that, stacking stops feeling risky and starts feeling predictable. Now let's talk about the foundation your credit profile needs before stacking even makes sense. First, clean credit matters. No late payments, no collections, no charge-offs. That's the baseline. Next is utilization. If your cards are maxed out, stacking will not work. You want utilization control and ideally under 30 to 35%. Then there's credit age and mix. You want to look established to banks, not brand new. That means a reasonable average age, not just fresh accounts, and a mix of revolving and installment history. But here's the piece most people completely overlook: comparables. Banks make decisions by comparing you to what you already been approved for. If you want $25,000 approvals, you need to show that you already managed $20,000 limits responsibly. That's why quality matters more than quantity. One strong tier 1 card beats 5 small builder accounts. A $20,000 Chase or Amex limit carries more weight than a stack of tiny trade lines. Banks lend based on what they already seen work. Once the profile is solid, now we talk banks. Not all banks play the same role in a stacking strategy. Tier 1 banks are where leverage comes from. That's your Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, US Bank, Truist. These banks care a lot about relationships. They look at your deposits, account behavior, longevity, and internal scoring you'll never see. That's where the 60-day deposit strategy comes into play. Instead of applying first and hoping for the best, you build the relationship before you ask. You open the account, you establish a depository, you run deposits through it consistently, you let it season for about 60 days. You're teaching the bank this business belongs here, and then when you apply, approvals make sense on their side. Regional banks and credit unions can be great as well. They're often more flexible, just with lower exposure limits. And fintech lenders still have a place. They're designed for specific situations. Usually when speed matters more than structure, they're not ideal for long-term stacking, but they can be useful when someone needs capital quickly and understands the trade-off. Now let's talk rules, because this is where people blow stacks without realizing it. There's a difference between product exposure and total exposure. For Chase, the total exposure across both personal and business is typically around $150,000. That's why Chase is usually something you want to go to early and handle carefully. Bank of America has its own rhythm. They pay close attention to how many accounts you open over time, both personal and business. Too much activity too fast can slow approvals, even with good credit. That's why sequencing matters. Different banks pull different bureaus, different bank scores risk differently. You don't apply everywhere at once, you distribute applications intentionally based on bureau strength and timing. Inquiry placement kills stacks faster than bad credit ever would. Having too many inquiries can increase your chances of being denied. Now let me show you the leverage play most people miss, the 60-day deposit leverage strategy. And here's how it works. You get approved for $20,000 at 0% interest. Instead of spending it all, you take $10,000 and place it into deposits at 1 or 2 banks you want to target next. You let those deposits season for 60 days, then you apply. Now you're not a stranger asking for money, you're an existing customer with activity. That $10,000 can unlock $30,000 to $60,000 more at 0% interest, and you still have months left on the original promotion rate. That's how stacking becomes repeatable. Timing is everything. Good timing makes average profiles win. Bad timing kills strong ones. The best time to apply is when utilization is low, you have seasoned depository history, no recent denials, and no major changes in your credit report. The worst time to apply is right after denials, or when you have high balances reporting, too many inquiries too close together, or no relationship established with the bank you're trying to apply for. Most failed stacks weren't denied, they were mistimed. And let's talk about it. Mistakes I see all the time are people think like consumers, not banks. They try to go through a funding sequence while they're maxed out. They add accounts that don't strengthen comparables, they skip deposit relationships, they rack up inquiries and look desperate to these lenders. They don't plan the next round while they're in the current one. Stacking is a sequence, not a one-time event. Once the funding is secured, discipline matters. You don't blow it immediately. You use part of it to set up the next round, you invest into cash flowing assets only, you automate minimum payments, you track every 0% interest expiration date, and the goal is simple. Use borrowed money to build assets that generate more money than you borrow. That's how you turn credit stacking into leverage, by leveraging OPM other people's money, and that leverage turns into scale. So that's the complete 2026 credit stacking blueprint, everything you need to access 6 figures and 0% interest funding. But here's the thing, knowing this information and actually executing it are two completely different things. And when you're dealing with your credit, your business, and potentially 6 figures in funding, you can't afford to messes up. That's why I put together a complete free course that goes even deeper than this video. I'm talking step-by-step walkthroughs, real deal examples, the exact lender relationships you need, and how to turn this into a full business, helping other people access capital while you're funding yourself. Click the video on the screen right now to watch that free course. It's going to take everything from this video and show you exactly how to implement it. And if you want to work with me directly and get access to our complete system, vetted lenders, live coaching, one-on-one support, click the first link in the description to apply. If this video helped you, smash that like button and subscribe for more content on business funding and building wealth. And like always, I appreciate you guys. Now go execute